الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا وطبيب نفوسنا وحبيب قلوبنا أبي القاسم محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم لا سيما بقية الله وأرواح العالمين إدراك نعمته الابتلاء أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون صدق الله العظيم.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
Respected Islamic brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
More than half of the holy month of Ramadan has already successfully finished. Inshallah, by the grace of God, if we live long enough, soon we will see that the month of Ramadan will be beyond us and one more Ramadan of our lives has passed. One humble question I have that inshallah from tonight we start with a journey, a spiritual journey. We get to know the religion, inshallah, every more into depth and diving into understanding of the religion. But for tonight, a question, a humble question that we have that has been really bothering me, bugging me for a while as well. I'd like to share it with you and sincerely ask each and every one of the brothers and sisters who is concerned about his or her spiritual ambition, is concerned about increasing his or her investment, saving account for the akhirah. I'm not a businessman of dunya, I'm talking about the business for the akhirah. Alright? A kind of a business Quran is introducing to us that is absolutely loss-free, risk-free. That's a very good business to invest in. Usually when you want to in business, there's always risk involved in it. There's one business that Quran says, Tijaratan al-Tabud. It's a business that is risk-free. Now I want to invite you and myself to that business. And inshallah from tonight we will be talking business. What a different kind of business, inshallah. The question before we open the topic is the following. Are you content, and do you think that honestly, and we have to be honest with ourselves, are you content and are you happy with the way that you've been fasting? Do you think that you have met the requirements of the month of Ramadan? You have met the purpose of fasting? The older you are, the more this question should seriously hit you, like myself. For the reason that for the last how many years, how many decades, I'm talking about myself, I'm people of my age or older than me or around this, for how many decades have we, for God's sake, fasting? Every month of Ramadan comes and goes. And what have I achieved? Or was it supposed to be an achievement at all or not? For as long as this month of Ramadan, like the previous months of Ramadan, I fasted in the sense of refraining from food, drink, and other items that the Salah Amaliyah was told to refrain from. At each time of happy, alhamdulillah, met my obligation. And I'm very much careful to make sure that I don't travel, I don't do anything that I don't miss a day of refraining from food or drink. The question is the following: is fasting all about refraining from food and drink to say that alhamdulillah I fasted this year? Or is it possible that there is more into you? And on the day of judgment, when they open my book of fasting, there is no single day of fasting, Sheikh Mansour. What a big surprise. قل هل ننبئكم بالأخسرين أعمالا. Wallah, this idea brings goosebumps to me, brings tears to my heart. I'm kidding you not, I'm serious, Wallah brothers. God is my witness. I'm sitting here with absolute shame. With absolute shame. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, that the Almighty God is sattar, is concealing us, concealing our secrets from one another. We don't know Shaykh Mansour. With all respect, I don't know. We don't know about each other's privacy. So much God conceals my sins from you. SubhanAllah, not only that, in dua when we read from the Holy Prophet Muhammad, not only you conceal my sins, you spread so much good about me that people they praise me, not knowing who the reality of this person is, what the reality of this person is. The ayah is this, Quran says, قُلْ هَلْ نُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِالْأَخْسَرِينَ أَعْمَالًا الَّذِينَ ضَلَّ سَعْيُهُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَهُمْ يَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّهُمْ يُحْسِنُونَ صُنْعًا. You want to inform you of the losers, the great losers. The great losers are not those who are very disturbing. The great losers are not those who go meal. The great losers are not those who don't pray or fast. You know what? They are losers perhaps, but they are not the great losers because they know that they are losers. They admit that they are not good Muslims. There are some Muslims out there have not attended our gathering, perhaps without any valid excuse, no fasting, no praying, and when you sit with them, they say that, look, I'm not proud of myself. She's not wearing the hijab and she says that, look, I'm not a good Muslim. I admit that I'm not a good Muslim. She's a loser, but not a great loser. The great loser, Quran, is the one who assumes that he has done good, and in reality he has not. الَّذِينَ يَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّهُمْ يُحْسِنُونَ صُنْعًا. Those who assume they are good. Assume at the end of the month of Ramadan that they fasted this month. Assume that they are among those who pray, namaz al-shab especially. The more of the mustahabbat, the more of the claim develops within me. And I think that I'm it and I'm superior to the community. And I look down upon those who it seems to me that they are not practicing Muslims. What kind of Muslim are you that you don't come to the mosque? What kind of a Muslim are you that you don't pray, you don't fast? Look down upon them. Not knowing that already I'm suffering from the grave disease of kibr, arrogance. So, before the month of Ramadan finishes, inshallah from tonight onward, I have this question for myself that has been bugging me, and I want to share it with you as well. Please reflect on it. That is my fasting, really fasting that God is expecting from me? Have I met the requirement of fasting? Or is there any room to improve? Or that's it. That's all about it. In Islam, the teachings of Islam, not in psychology of education, that we discussed, we say that the best educational system is a system that comes in degrees, progressive. And that's why I assume everywhere in the world we have elementary level, intermediate level, advanced level, grade 1, grade 2. Impossible to give all the mathematical concepts in grade 1 to the kids. Alright. The same application applies in teaching religion as well. Even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when one of the reasons that God has sent so many prophets and messengers, I was asked many times this question, couldn't God from day one send one prophet with the whole message and end of the story? Why couldn't God send only Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Why 154,000 prophets and messengers? For the reason that it took too much for the man of the Stone Age to comprehend the profound idea of what monotheism. Even at the time of Islam, even when you are teaching Tawheed to your children, what you can teach to children like grade 1 or 6, 7 years old is different than what you may teach later on. In the elementary level in Tawheed, we teach teach them that God is one. The child who used to the material things may say that, okay, I've got one mom, one dad, one son, I don't know, one house, and one God as well. God is also one. Later on, he will learn, inshallah, that was wrong. When we say that God is one, we are not talking about numerical God. In terms of the number, that there is only one satellite for planet Earth, and there is only one God for the universe. If anyone believes in the unity of God in that sense, it's not God that we supposed to believe. There is no number in Godhead. Alright? Because it is possible, although it doesn't exist, but it's possible for the Earth to have more than one satellite. As some planets have more than one satellite, but it's impossible to have more than one God. So God, that we say, is one in the intermediate level with each decade, and we learn ourselves that we are talking about the uniqueness of God. Qul huwallahu ahad is unique, not that he is one in number. Gets older and more advanced into the study of Tawheed until the ayat of Surah Al-Hadid will be revealed and will be explained. Until they concept that in Iran they talk about it, that so many scholars they find it even difficult to comprehend that we say there is only God existing, unity in existence. Unity in existence. Allah kullu shay'in ma khala Allah batil. In reality, if you are talking about the real existence, only God exists. The rest of the existence, they exist because of Him. So the example as simple as this, that when you turn on the lights, you can see the objects around. You don't get to know the light with the objects. Alright? Allahu nuru samawati wal ard. God is the nur of the heavens and the earth. So how ironic that we treat planets, sun, moon, galaxy, I want to prove the existence of God. My friend, the story is the other way around. Unless God exists, the planets don't exist. Alright? So I'm talking about different levels of understanding. The same applies in all teachings of Islam. All teachings of Islam. Even when Islam was eradicating the vicious practice of drinking intoxicants, the ayat comes in 3, 4, 5 stages. That's why in Irfan, in the Islamic mysticism, or Arafat, they say that we are looking at least in the general category of one general categories, we are talking about 3 categories of getting to know and practicing the religion of Islam. The first category is like talking about the surface of Islam. If you imagine Islam as a fruit, the shell of that fruit is the surface of Islam that many they know about. Or just swimming on the surface of the ocean of Islam. That surface is called fiqh, or to be more precise, they call it fiqh al-asghar, the smaller fiqh, in comparison to more in-depth study of Islam. In that level of fiqh al-asghar, that some other company refer to as Sharia law, that in the Salah Amaliyah we learn about. Let's find an application examples about fasting that we are talking about. In that fiqh al-asghar and Sharia, all the requirements are mentioned in the Salah Amaliyah of your Ramadan, the respected Ramadan. Open the Salah, there are 9 items that we need to avoid to say that I'm a fasting person, or fasting for most of Ramadan. Refraining mainly from food, drink, and intimacy and things like that. Alright? This is the surface of Islam. For fasting, for praying, looking at the faith, the jurisprudential side of it, as long as you have made your wudu and you know how to pray, how to utter the words properly, you have offered your prayers. I was in Jakarta airport, I remember when we prayed to pray, and one section of it was ladies, another one gents. One lady, she came with no hijab, perhaps with minions here, very Western dress code, and she took her hijab from her handbag covered herself, perhaps cleaned her, now you message your mom, so you watching, cleaned her makeup, and she offered the prayer, and when she finished, she again put her hijab in her back, and without hijab or not with many statements stepped down. The only non-mahram was God. The only non-mahram was God. Out of the prayer room and out of the namaz, there is no more non-mahram. Question, serious question. Is her prayer valid jurisprudentially or is not valid? There is no family in the world, Shia or Sunni, to say that no, her namaz is void. Everybody says that as long as according to the faith, she has made the ablution, she knew how to utter the words, she was facing the Qibla, the arkan of the namaz is met. Maybe her pronunciation was perfect. Her namaz is jurisprudentially valid. Okay? But is that all Islam about? Really, is this what Islam is expected from her? Is that what Islam is expected from me? That God is telling me to fast just because God doesn't want me to eat or drink for a month for some reasons? Is it that God is putting us on a diet? How come that the main issue that we discuss in the month of Ramadan, I don't know about you, but especially at the moment in the Middle East, that days of dawn and the hot days of summer, people really started marathon race that at the end of the day said, I was fasting. Alhamdulillah, I didn't feel anything at all. If you didn't feel the hunger or the thirst, the fasting was excellent. Your fasting was excellent. Really, what kind of impression are we giving to each other? The only impression you are giving, like, Alhamdulillah, it's not like a race. That I wasn't tired. Alhamdulillah, I made it today. Successfully I made. That's why I said that at the end of the day, I'm a bit proud of myself. Alhamdulillah, one more day I did it. Is that the purpose of becoming a Muslim and fasting and praying? For the same reason, unfortunately, staying on the surface of Islam, our salah does not become tanha anil fahsha wal munkar. As Quran says that salah is for the purpose of preventing you from horrible sins and anything that even your conscience is telling you is bad. For how many decades I've been praying and still I find it a big challenge to even control my mouth when it comes to gossiping. Is it gossiping haram? Doesn't the Prophet tell Abu Bakr that al-ghibatu ashaddu min az-zina, worse than adultery? How come that you are blaming those adulterers out there, but you don't look at yourself that gossiping? Your Prophet says that it's worse than that. Is it possible that even though I fasted on the day of judgment, my punishment will be more severe than them? And the same for Ramadan. So, my common sense is telling me that there is more into our religion. This is definitely misrepresentation of our religion to limit Islam only to the surface and say that Islam is only limited to Risala Amaliyah says. Then why is it that we have Risala Amaliyah? I tell you why. You are talking about elementary level, intermediate level, advanced level. It's my fault that I stayed in grade 1. It's just like someone goes to school and they teach you alphabet. Year 1, they teach you alphabet. Year 2, again this is our alphabet. Year 3, alphabet. Year 10, year 12, year 15, year 16, I don't know. My friend, how many years you want alphabet? Put the words together. It is our fault that we stayed in the elementary level and we have stayed for over the years, 50 years, 60 years of my life has passed, 70 years have passed, and still I'm in the elementary level of Islam. I don't achieve much. Salawat Muhammad. Why is it that we have then this surface? For the purpose of training us, get us to the next level. As I said in the beginning, for the same reason, you don't teach all the mathematical concepts in grade 1, but the students expected to progress to the next level. of the Sharia, the fasting of the Sharia, the prayer of the Sharia, are, because we are talking about fasting, the months of fasting, I try to focus more on fasting. There are purposes in the 50 kind of fasting. Some of them I share with you. The first, as the Holy Prophet ﷺ mentioned, is that so that جاهدوا أنفسكم بالجوع والعطش. We are expected, brothers and sisters, from the time that we have reached the age of puberty, it's just like we are in a horse, a wild horse, that we are expected to tame it, to bring it under the control of our aql, our intellect, and our religion. The Prophet says that you want to bring your soul under your control, to tame it, you have to start from your body. Because in Islamic philosophy, we discuss this, that your body is how can I say, the lowest level of your soul. Your body is like the lowest level of your soul. The highest level of your body becomes your soul. So in order for you to bring your soul under your control, start from your body, that you can see it visible. How your body's survival is especially with food, with drink, and for the purpose of reproduction. These are the main reasons for the survival of the body. Prophet says that we have prescribed the Sharia fasting so that you exercise disciplining yourself with your body. You get thirsty, so what? Sorry, man. You can't drink now. I'm thirsty, I want water. No, not now. I'm hungry, I'm just have lunch. No, sorry, not now. So when are you going to give it to me? When God allows you. You have to learn to only eat when God allows you to eat. You have to learn to drink only when God allows you to drink. 1 month you put your body into that training course of disciplining yourself. Second, because of that, therefore, the Prophet says that now that 1 month you are exercising these, you should learn and you tell your body and your soul. Do you see that how 1 month during the days that it's easier to fast at night? Isn't it? Most of it we may sleep. Deliberately God makes it that you fast daytime, so that you learn that you go to your daily activities and at the same time be God conscious. So that water, food, chicken is halal, water is halal, I don't know, food that we have is halal. Halal is not allowed during the month of Ramadan. Husband and wife relation is not allowed. Halal, not allowed. So that after the month of Ramadan, I have learned this at least one lesson that you see how you could avoid halal, that your survival depended on them. Without eating, without drinking, you could not survive, yet you survive. Is it not difficult to avoid alcohol? And your body doesn't need it. I usually make a comment here on those who smoke as well. Is it difficult to quit smoking? Your body doesn't need it. Rather, it's harmful to your body. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is putting us into that discipline of avoiding halal that our body needs, so that it becomes easier to avoid what our body doesn't need. Okay? This is one, that's why we are put into that avoiding food and drink. Another benefit of Sharia fasting. Benefit of Sharia fasting is that because I'm a kid in the school of spirituality, you know how you encourage your kids when you send them to nursery or preschool, moms usually give them toys, or at the school they give them, something that they encourage them. God, He knows that I'm too lazy to get up at dawn for night prayer, for example, to make it that intimacy at that moment with God. But I'm such a gluttonous person, care about my tummy, yummy in the tummy, and especially if I know that for 13 hours, 14 hours, more or less, I'm not allowed to eat or drink. Your common sense tells you now you have to get up and eat something. Forces us with that intelligent system to get up early in the morning with the excuse of eating and drinking. God says, never mind. One of my teachers, Rahmatullah alayhi, he used to say that, get up early in the morning before morning prayer. If you are, some people love tea, love coffee, for example, like me. You like coffee? Make sure that your coffee, put it that time. Forces you to get up, to get used to become awake at that time. And then you can take the coffee and read namaz shafi. Once you are used to being awake at that time, for 1 month, God says, I bring you, excuse me, with all respect to all of you, please forgive my example. Like I told one person, the horse, my animal, God gives me some hay, some food to this animal, come with the food and then we have something better for you. Get up for Sahari so that you will enjoy later on the oil Sahari. You are not meant to stay only for Sahari, for the rest of your life. That's why if still I'm awake only for Sahari, or I get up only for Sahari, I'm repeating alphabet all my life. Sahari was only an excuse. Let it be there. It's mustahab to have Sahari as well. Your body needs, but don't stay only there. Unfortunately, some of us, even when they don't get up for Sahari, I don't know about your practice. Some people, they are 12-ish or so, they eat something and then they go to bed. And they may even miss the morning prayer. Say, Sheikh, I have to go to work tomorrow, it's too much to stay awake. Or they are too lazy to get up for Sahari. I tell them, that's why it's mustahab to get up and eat something before dawn. So that you are awake, your body gets used to being awake. Brothers and sisters, lest I forget, if you practice making it. If after the month of Ramadan, any of us wants to see whether our fasting is the fasting that God is pleased with or not, check with after the month of Ramadan yourself. If after the month of Ramadan still you are awake for morning prayer, still you are awake a little bit earlier also as well, inshallah you are on the right track. But if on the day of Eid or the day after the Eid, still you miss your morning prayer, back to zero again. Back to zero again. You are not on the right track. SubhanAllah, Allah subhanahu because He wants to discipline us, still you are in the Sharia fasting. In Nasawatak we have fixed time for prayer. Okay? The reason for that is again to discipline ourselves. For God doesn't make a difference whether you pray 8 a.m. or 6 p.m. Why fixed time? To discipline ourselves. And again, subhanAllah, compared with all respect to the business hours. Everywhere in the world, the business hours usually is fixed. I don't know about here, in many Western countries, 9 to 5. Whether summer, winter, okay. But the time period changes, goes with the nature, with the morning twilight, evening twilight, as you can see. Even in the tropical region right here, there is not much change, but still there is a change. You know what? You discipline yourself without a habit. Without a habit. That is not